Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, I got a reply, Hare Krishna, from
Digital.
Prabhu, because I was recording this intro sound from the previous podcast. We have lost access to our podcast jingles. Very detrimental. We're so sorry that you can't get that same crisp quality. Maybe one day we'll figure out how to bring them back. For now, I just have to go on our previous podcasts. So, Hare Krishna, welcome to the Expand the Bliss podcast. This is our umpteenth podcast. I've totally lost count now. I was into counting them, and it I've totally lost track. That's because we have so many. Why don't you go and listen to some of them? They're on this channel. We have topics on everything. Just think about something for a second. Think about the first thing that comes in your mind. We probably have a podcast about that. So go and hear to your heart's content the various kinds of podcasts that we have on our Expand the Bliss YouTube channel. Of course, after you hear this one all the way through, that would be nice. So today I'm joined by a very special guest, His Grace Prabhu. He's the founder of the Bhaktivedanta Lives in Sound Society. It is a great honor to be speaking with him today and to be chatting with him. That's actually the name of this podcast. I don't think I ever mentioned it since episode 1. It's actually called Chatting with the Hare Krishnas. So that's actually what this podcast is called. Hare Krishna Prabhu, how are you?
Hare Krishna, it's my great pleasure to be with you tonight on this beautiful, wonderful Chatting with Hare Krishna's Bliss podcast. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
It was said with great force that it was, it was your great pleasure. So we're going to be now going somewhere. This has never been done before on a Bliss podcast. We're going to be moving. We're not going to be just chilling in a room. We're going to be going through the streets of London town to the Laundromat, because right now we're in a hotel, and that's a whole story that we're going to cover in this podcast. So because we're in a hotel, we do our laundry a little differently. We do it kind of like an Indian village style, stomping on it in the shower and rinsing it through the hands many times and using the floor.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
This is an essential religious principle.
Always do your laundry.
Wear it one time.
So you don't get crazy.
Yeah. If you wear clean cloth and also you take regular bath, you'll find that even materially speaking, your mind is very peaceful, very calm. And that makes it very conducive for meditation, yoga practice. So if you stay in what's called the mode of goodness, which is characterized by one thing in particular that we mentioned, which is cleanliness, then your life becomes very peaceful and you can execute spiritual life easier. So that's what we're doing now. We're staying clean. We're keeping our cloth clean. It's not very difficult. Sometimes people are very shocked. That we clean the clothes every day. I know them.
They think we're crazy.
They think we're crazy. I know my mum. She thinks I'm crazy because I wash my clothes every day. I told her that I wash my clothes every day, and she said, every day? Is that really necessary? Do you get dirty? Yes. Why?
Is your mom listening to this?
Probably not. I don't know how much she likes to hear about the fact that I'm Hare Krishna. But yes, the body is getting your clothes the body is getting the clothes dirty because the body is dying constantly. The body is always changing. The body you have right now and you're listening to this podcast with, it's going to be gone after you listen to this podcast and go to sleep. The body is always changing. You had the body of a...
Your diaper.
My
Mouth diaper.
Mouth diaper. Thank you for being... Now, if you're watching this After the COVID pandemic, you're very fortunate. But right now we're inside the COVID pandemic, so we have to wear the mouth diapers. Anyway, the body that you had when you were a little baby, that body is dead and gone, man. And so all the bodies that you have, the body you have right now will also be dead and gone, and therefore your body is always decaying, and therefore your clothes are little graveyards. So wash your clothes every day. Hare Krishna.
You are not this body. Body is simply a vehicle. You are a beautiful spirit soul that has a relationship with Krishna. Who is Krishna? The Supreme Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
What does Krishna look like?
Krishna looks, he has a skin of a dark cloud, monsoon cloud.
Wow.
He is 16 years old, is very beautiful, enchanting, has a curly black hair, like a black like crow.
Oh. Like a crow?
Yeah, I think so. I hope I'm not like, making offenses to Krishna.
Crow is generally considered not such a beautiful animal, but like it has got like a jet black color. So, yeah, nice and sheen black.
Yes. There's some demon called Krishna, a crow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Krishna, who was that?
in the Krishna book. I don't know.
Krishna killed him?
Whoever responds this question gets an extra bliss point.
Oh yeah, actually we introduced a new system now. If you've been following the bliss for a little while, even if you haven't, welcome, Hare Krishna. We now have a system called bliss points. It's a very cool system, which I'm describing to you as I'm tying my shoes. So please forgive me if I'm a little spacing out while trying to remember what the bliss system is. So hold on, I'm gonna put the phone here so I can speak and tie my shoes. Okay, so the bliss point system is that if you answer various questions on trivia, and by trivia I mean Krishna knowledge, questions from the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada's teachings, also the bliss itself, then you get entitled to a bliss point. And then I wish I had a sound effect with, those kids, they go, yay, and then there's like a party sound, but I don't have that now. So anyway, you get a bliss point, and then when you rack up these bliss points, you become entitled to one of His Grace Guruji Prabhu's ebooks. Haribo! They're very nice. You can go check them out on our website also.
And he has a dhoti that is just like just like the thunderbolt.
Oh.
Thunderbolt. Yeah, yellow like a thunderbolt. And then he has a nice garland around his neck, nice flowers. And he has a flute. Krishna is playing a flute always.
Kwanwantam is the Sanskrit word. Do you have a key for the room, Prabhu? Otherwise we just locked ourselves.
Yes, okay. I have, yeah.
You're more organized than I, so I have to ask.
Yeah, I have to put on gloves.
I forgot my bead bag.
Your bead bag?
Yeah.
So take it now.
You can always chant in the air. You don't need actually beads to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Sahajya. Oh my goodness.
Nice. Sahajya has come.
I was describing the Maha Mantra, Prabhu. Maybe you could continue describing the Maha Mantra.
The Maha Mantra is non different from that beautiful Krishna.
Oh. What is the Maha Mantra? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. That is the Maha Mantra. So when you chant the Maha Mantra, then that evokes Krishna's transcendental presence. Of course, we can't perceive Krishna's presence because we have material senses. Thank you. And because we have material senses, we cannot perceive that which is transcendental. Krishna is purely transcendental.
That makes sense.
But when we chant the transcendental sound of the Maha Mantra, then we can slowly purify the consciousness, contaminated consciousness, and then Krishna becomes revealed to us. He's already there, he's everywhere, but we can't see him because we're a little dull-headed. So when we chant the holy name, we become very intelligent, and we will see Krishna, how he is taking care of us every single day.
Jay. Now we just walked outside into the nice cold rainy streets of London, and there's all kinds of nice nature sounds, birds chirping.
We should do an interview with him.
With Krishna. That would be cool, huh?
Interview with Krishna.
Interview with God himself.
Krishna is in London in the laundromat.
Can you imagine me just walking there and Krishna's just chilling there? Nice look with playing his flute. Wow, that'd be cool. Okay, well, enough dreaming. This is now we're gonna walk through. We're doing the topic of today's podcast is what the hell is going on with bliss? What are we doing right now? Why are we in a hotel? And why are we doing this podcast on the way to the laundromat? So
That was called Just Chant, right?
The last one was called Just Chant.
Right.
That one was just about chanting.
Ah.
hence the name.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we discussed I discussed with myself, with my ego, the chanting of the holy name, and how it is nectarian, and how you have to keep your mind very attentive on the vibration, and how that perfects your consciousness so that you can actually one day associate with Krishna himself. Wow, Hari Bol. So now, but today's podcast, maybe we don't have to talk about, maybe we can just do a bliss news update and talk about something else spontaneously. What do you think, Prabhu?
Well, one thing I know for sure, we're not taking a Mona Vrat exactly. Mona Vrat is a vow to be silent and not speak. So Vaishnavas, when they become devotees, that's where the real talk begins.
The Mayavadi, or those philosophers or spiritualists, so-called spiritualists, who think that you become God.
Rotten spirit.
Rotten brain, cow dung in the brain.
Oh.
Philosophers, when they say that
it is an offense
Hmm.
not to make offense to Mayavadi.
It is very offensive to me and everyone if you don't make huge offenses to those who want to be gods. So they say that talking must stop. Once you become enlightened, there's no more need of talking. That's only because they're fools and they have nothing to say. But Vaishnavas, they say, when you become Krishna conscious, then the real talk begins.
The real talk about the glories and beauties of Krishna.
Hari Bol!
Krishna and his devotees.
Mm.
And Krishna and his expansions.
And Krishna and his paraphernalias.
And Krishna in the form of Lord Chaitanya, who's coming as his devotee.
Oh.
Krishna takes the form of his own devotee and he appears in Navadvip.
We have so many
Hi,
things.
my name is Lord Chaitanya. And he starts this beautiful Hare Krishna movement. And then Srila Prabhupada comes in 1865 and he gives us the Maha Mantra. And he gives us beautiful books that have been distributed all around the world in 1 billion of copies distributed all around the world. Now we have to make a law that people have to read them, and there's going to be exam, and if you fail the exam you get a vaccine with prasadam vaccine.
We have so much to say about Krishna that actually 24 hours is not long enough in the day. If you start practicing Krishna consciousness and reading Prabhupada's books, you'll find that there should be 48 hours in a day.
Everyone likes to talk about himself, right? So what is the self? The self is part and parcel of Krishna.
If you actually talk about the self, you cannot avoid talking about Krishna, because the self is part and parcel of Krishna.
Actually, when we say we want to talk about ourselves, we want to talk about Krishna.
Yeah.
But because we don't know who we are,
Oh.
we talk about not about ourselves, we talk about the body.
When I say I think I know who I am,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just see how people are so nice. In London, people are always receptive.
We should have done an interview.
We should have immediately stopped him. Sir,
Sir.
you just said Hare Krishna. Do you know how fortunate you are? You've been passing through many Brahmandas, many universes for millions of births, and now you understand. You now have the great fortune of chanting the holy name of Lord Shri Krishna. The holy name of the Lord. It purifies your consciousness. So,
The holy name of the Lord.
that vibration you just chanted, my good friend, you don't even know how fortunate you are.
To get Krishna goodies.
More goodies. We just got criticized on an email for using the phrase more goodies in connection with Prabhupada's movement. Apparently, the phrase more goodies is not serious enough for Prabhupada's movement.
Anyway.
Whatever. I think the word goodies is appropriate because Prabhupada's movement is full of goodies. Transcendental.
Shuddha goodies.
But perfectly pure goodies that are ever increasing and full of varieties. A little difficult subject matter to understand. If you start chanting Hare Krishna, then you'll know.
The critics said that we're talking to a young generation only. And we look like hippies.
That's okay. We are talking to the young generation because everyone is an eternally fresh spirit soul.
Exactly.
So everyone is actually young.
16-year-old.
Everyone's actually 16-year-olds originally in the spiritual world. It's only because we take a material body that we appear to have the form of an old man or an old woman or a young boy or a young girl. But actually,
we're addressing the spirit soul, not the body. In these podcasts are for the souls of the world, not for the bodies of the world.
We're not talking to the person, we're not talking to the dress of the person, just like how, an American person has his American style of dress, or a Japanese person has a Japanese style of dress. Similarly, people have a Japanese or American looking body or a Hindu body or whatever body, but actually they're not the body, they're the soul within the body. So we're talking to that soul. It's a non-sectarian podcast for everybody.
Because we're not crazy. We're not talking to the dress of the person, we're talking to a person himself.
Can you imagine how foolish it would be if someone took off their coat and hung it up and I said, "Oh, hello Mr. Coat, how are you doing?" I would look like a crazy person. That's what every single person in the world is currently doing.
That's right. So this is the only podcast that is actually a podcast for the soul.
Oh.
So we're talking to you right now as a soul, not as a body. We're talking to you as the eternal soul.
We're all trying to connect. We're all trying to. Let me talk to the real you. Let me talk from my heart to your heart, man. But we're actually the only people doing that.
Yes.
We're souls talking to souls about soul things. What are soul things?
There's a musical style called soul.
Oh.
Soul, yeah.
Is it kind of like R&B?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Where are we now?
Now we're still in London. We don't have such big steps like Vamana Dave that we can just step out of London immediately. Still in London. We're in a place. If you live, or we're gonna get squished by a car. It's okay, even if you get squished by a car. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. Okay.
Krishna. Hare. Hey guys.
You're very fortunate.
Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hare Krishna. Hey, do you see something different in me?
You look highly spiritually exercised because you just chant Hare Krishna.
I have a lot of people here, around here. There's a lot of people. People here is, well, I live here for a long time. But now, this year, something happened to me. So, everything I provoke, it can. Very, normal and very, for example, I was thinking about you. Moment
and then we appeared. That's Krishna.
Yeah.
You manifest.
Yeah,
whatever
if
you desire.
I desire.
Okay.
Yeah. Even I don't desire a lot of money, a lot of this. For example, when I look just like I walk in the road, sometimes I'm like not broke, nothing. I say, Mark Angel, show me some gratitude like this. I cross up the road, I find a 20 pound. It's not one time, two times.
You know what you could do? You could desire to manifest Krishna.
Yeah.
If you desire, the Krishna's gonna appear.
Yeah, that's true. And that's because always I've been to dance. Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
See, look. If you have Krishna, you don't need anything else.
And I want to be closer to you guys because the moment this year, I lost all the friends. I lost all the people because the people around here, I don't know, it's a lot of dead workers.
Okay.
And me, for example, if you got I stay in the group. People now say to me because I manifest, I can feel the energy. And me, if we maybe we meet more time, you see, and I stay around the people. The people become. I can see the blood started to
Go away.
go to now to
Disappear.
become big. It's to become like develop.
They become alive.
Oh,
Yes.
Because he's
okay.
chanting Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And it's not one, twice the times. It's been now for 1 year. These things happen. And, I just like, I'm a little bit alone at the moment. And a lot of people is say, because I'm a very true person. I don't lie. I don't, and if people don't like me, actually this because, for me, I can just before I start to talk, the things come. So that's the problem. I don't have this kind of thing like, oh, let me make you happy.
Right.
I'm here to tell you anything. For example, I can tell you, no, don't say this because that's not true. I'm not gonna try to make you things. I mean to feel better. I mean to feel because I mean now
You tell people how it is. You speak to their hearts. Okay.
And it's hard in this area, the moment for me. And I lost everybody.
If you keep
I'm
chanting
alone
Hare
happy
Krishna,
one.
yeah, that's because you chant Hare Krishna. You're always with God. Then that's the best thing.
And I
What could you want
We,
more?
we must
I don't-
unite.
We must
Yeah.
unite.
All
Yeah.
the good people, all the
Yeah.
honest people, we must unite.
And I have no problems to like I told you if one day we go, for example 3 or 4 person now, he knows me. You see them is to talk the same words and repetitive way, like 8.
Mhm.
They go to the Asim, they go everything, they go the same. And since I go any place, be careful.
Oops.
He saves your life.
Since I go,
Very nice.
since I go any place, and people look at me. I walk in the road here today. I started to put my things and clothes. Oh, I lost my things. And people there to come near to me, trying to touch me like this, because I think I live in divine. I don't know, this is divine is not stopping.
Your spirit soul. The soul is divine. It's eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
We're
now
all divine.
We're
Everyone
all
is
divine.
divine.
Yeah.
But some people forgot it.
My divine is divine too much, man.
So
I want to stop
you
this
have to
divine
remind-
because,
Stop?
because the people, man.
No, divine cannot be stopped. That's
It's
the
eternal.
definition of divine. It's
But the
eternal.
people keep it. I don't know if you know this. People stay behind me. They keep practicing something like this.
You should remind them that they're eternal by always chanting Hare Krishna. If you chant that, everyone will be around. You'll be happy. You'll also be happy. It's very nice. But we have
Can
to
I
go
see-
now to
can
the
I see
laundromat.
you guys tomorrow do something?
Yeah, we're going to be right here tomorrow, kind of at the same time. Maybe we'll meet
Are
each
you
other.
online? Are you online? Your Facebook or something?
Yeah, Clinton Camacho. If you
I
go
don't-
to Google, you will know my name.
Clinton?
You know Clinton Camacho.
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 Okay.
Clinton, yes, very good. I'm from Cape Verde.
Where's that?
Cape Verde, 10 Island, 10 Commandments.
Ah,
Okay, wow.
Google now. You put it like Cape Verde Island.
I don't
Okay.
have a pen, unfortunately.
my phone is a little preoccupied.
I must have
Clinton.
Clinton
Camacho.
Homage. Damage.
Camacho. Wait, I might have a pen here.
Well, actually, we have it recorded.
Yeah, actually, we
we're
have-
recording a podcast
We
now.
have, we have you on podcast, so
Oh,
we have
yeah?
your
We
audio.
have it recorded,
Clinton.
so we're gonna listen to it, and we're gonna find you,
Oh, yeah.
and then we
good.
can connect, and we do something. We'll have an adventure. We'll make a spiritual adventure.
Let me write for you guys because I quite like you guys. Everybody said to me a lot of people, my family in Cape Verde, we have everything. We have pharmacy, to say very well live. But everybody is very don't I people we don't like money. We don't look at money in nothing. We just I have a beautiful family. I got 12 brothers, 6 sisters.
Nice. Big family.
They were all very. I have another sister. My is like asked, is condemned in the way like to say is see things. You see things when I don't see things like.
I think
in
that's
the,
a pen.
No, this is it's my buttocks. Oh my God! Look.
Well, we're gonna have your name here. We said it many times. So we'll-
Clinton, CLA, Clinton Camacho.
Clinton Camacho.
CAMACHO.
Okay, we got it.
If you Google, my name, here in the Google,
Yes.
you'll see all about my life, what I
Oh,
do, you put my name in Google, so.
Very nice.
We'll find you on Google.
Nice to speak to you, Clinton.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Adios.
Good luck.
Hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
Jai. So that was Clinton Dimash, our good friend.
That was Clinton Kumash.
Kamasho.
Kumash.
Very like a transcendental madman almost. He was chanting down the street. Very nice. Inspired by the holy name. So where were we speaking? Okay, now we're in London, yes. And there's all kinds of people here chanting Hare Krishna. We don't even know. We just walk down the street and people are already joining the movement.
Yeah. The dhoti.
Yeah, people are sometimes critical of the dress.
They have no idea how this dhoti, how it wonderfully represents and preaches. The dhoti is a preacher.
You just you're wearing a preacher right now.
Diaper.
Oh, diaper on. Diaper equipped, diaper now.
We're at the spot. This is the local laundry mat.
Laundromat.
And we're gonna laundry our clothes here. It's called the laundrette center.
Actually, it's called Perfect Dry Cleaning.
Ah, okay.
It doesn't exist on Google Maps. Very difficult to find out.
Wow.
Yep. Hi. So here we are at the laundromat. And I'm just going to find a laundromat machine that's free. Okay, I found one now. That one's out of order. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we go for this one.
You have changed them?
Yeah, I've changed.
So we're in the laundrette right now.
Krishna gave me the intelligence from within to bring 2 quid in coins so I wouldn't space out.
That is also Krishna. Everything Krishna arranges. We cannot hide from Krishna.
The whole thing is just a big Krishna adventure. Like you just walk outside. Krishna's arranging so many things all the time. Like that Clinton Dimash show. That was also Krishna.
Yeah, we could. What would be his spiritual name?
C. What is this?
Click.
What begins with the C in the spiritual?
Shyavana Das.
Ah, right.
Shyavana Das or Kumara, Krishna Kumara. No.
No, it's K.
Okay. Clinton. Oh, you put it in there with the plastic bag.
No.
Ah, you're drying the plastic bag also.
I wear the plastic bag, Drew.
Yeah. So Maitreya is now putting the laundry. I think this is the complete lack of ideas. We have completely run out of ideas for the podcast. Now we just go to the laundromat and we're describing how we're drying the clothes.
Next time we're gonna do a podcast where we take prasadam, and it will just be sounds of Hare Krishna.
I think at that point our podcast will really take off. That was the secret. That's why people were not coming, because we didn't do these.
Suddenly we go viral and the whole world becomes Krishna conscious because of this chewing sound podcast.
Yeah. So laundry.
What's Krishna conscious about a laundromat?
Well, as we mentioned in the beginning, the laundry is, very important to maintain cleanliness. The monks must be must be clean all the time so they can be in peace. Whatever is on your mind, I'm sorry, whatever cleanliness you have on your body, that then projects itself on your mind. If you have dirty clothes, then you have dirty thoughts. No?
I think so. That's my experience. But
You just become accustomed, to this cleanliness
Right.
process. You wash your clothes daily.
you can't go without it. You can't go without it at all.
Yeah, and then when you don't have your clothes clean, it's like I would call it the heroin withdrawals.
Yeah, you feel disturbed in the mind if you're not clean.
Yes. You really disturb in the mind.
Just like if you don't chant Hare Krishna mantra every day. If you chant every day, then your mind becomes very peaceful. And
I was a little disturbed in the mind when Clinton was going on and on
were
and
disturbed?
on. I was disturbed because I was thinking we're not going to make it for the laundry.
Prabhu, he might have been a Mahabhagavat.
Yeah, only a Mahabhagavat can understand the mind of a Mahabhagavat. So there was a hint by Maitreya Prabhu that he is a Mahabhagavat.
Now you have finally understood.
Now it has been revealed. Now everybody, we must take shelter of Maitreya Prabhu. That's the only way out of this.
Understand. What is that from again? Understand?
That is an English word for understanding things.
Yes. Also some bogus Swami, some bogus incarnation, so-called incarnation. An incarnation has to be verified. A little feather came out of my jacket. Incarnation has to be verified by the scriptures. You can't not just that anyone can come and say they're an incarnation. Like our good friend Clinton also tried to sneak in there that he was divine. I don't know if you noticed. He may be.
Well, we're just saying that those who do not offend people who say they're God,
Right.
they're themselves offenders.
Oh.
But we didn't offend Clinton. We should have offended him.
I didn't, because I automatically took him on the good side of things, because I said, yeah, you are divine. You're like, we're all divine. We are. We're all parts and parcels of God, so we're all spiritual, but we're wanting quality, not quantity. I don't know if he was necessarily saying he was God, so I didn't want to kick on his face just at that particular point.
What I found interesting is that he said that I don't want to be divine anymore.
Yeah. Well, if you try to be God, like we're all trying to be God in this material world, it gets frustrating after a little while because you realize it's not possible.
There was this movie with Jim Carrey called Bruce Almighty. You remember this movie?
Is that the one where he makes the ark, Noah's Ark? That's Evan Almighty. Yeah, he makes the ark there. Yeah.
He made two Almighties?
I don't know if it's the same movie, but what
With Jim Carrey?
No, not Jim Carrey. The other one, the other famous actor. It's kind of like Jim Carrey, American comedic actor.
Carrey Jim, no?
His name was Kim Jarry.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw the other one, Bruce Almighty. And so where this guy becomes God,
Ah,
and then he doesn't want to be God anymore.
okay.
So of course it's a karmy movie, but it is very much to the point.
Okay, it touches on the points.
Yeah,
What
that's
happens?
our position. We have come here to become God, and we don't want to be God anymore.
Yeah, it's
Do you want to be God? I don't want to be God anymore.
personally speaking, I've had just about enough of being God.
Yesterday you were still into it. Today,
Yesterday, I was kind of on the fence. I was kind of thinking, maybe being God is still cool. But then I realized, actually, no, this material nature just kicks on your face every time if you try to be God.
listen, Maitreya Prabhu. Why don't you describe how you went to hunt for the apartment for Krishna, new temple apartment?
Okay, so we're now on the hunt for a temple. Because a temple, we have a podcast also, how to make a temple for Krishna. I think that's the title. I don't listen to my own podcast, so I don't know what the title is. Maybe someone else can tell me. And so it's very nice to make a temple for Krishna, because then everyone else can come and chant Hare Krishna and learn about who they actually are. So I'm now going and I'm looking for a new temple in London, and after eons of searching online for various locations, we eventually came across kind of a nice place in a sector of this gigantic dystopian metropolis called Willesden Green. It's kind of nice, so I went there now. And the landlord who was renting to me, he was a little spaced out, I have to say. No offense to you, Nima, if you're listening to this podcast. Sorry, but you're a very nice man. I don't mean any offense. You just could have prepared a little better. And
but you're really spaced out.
yeah, so anyway, I traveled back and forth many times to go and sort out the rent for this place, sort out a lease. And now the last time I went was a bit of a confrontational moment, because I thought we were going to get cheated. It's a little unofficial lease signing arrangement there, so I thought it might not be exactly bona fide. So I little questioned him, and now tomorrow we're gonna sign a lease and move in to that temple, which is quite nice. It has a separate room and a separate kitchen, so maybe if you're listening to this podcast, you can come to this bliss temple and you can actually get trained up. You can also learn how to wash your dhotis every day,
and you can get a nice fine because it's a lockdown and it's illegal.
If Boris Johnson is listening to this podcast, first of all, Hare Krishna, Boris. Thank you for listening. Second of all, please don't shut down our podcast at Temple.
And third, please make Hare Krishna obligatory.
Death penalty if you don't become Hare Krishna.
Yes, and death penalty and more.
And more. Like who's that TV presenter? But wait, there's more. You know this guy? The what's his name? He has the cleaning product. Anyway, some nonsense.
You mean the brainwash? The cleaning product called brainwash?
Brainwash. We also have a podcast about brainwashing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
right. Yeah. I did that by myself because you abandoned me on all these podcasts. So
now I came back. I couldn't tolerate the separation.
Vipra lumbar, the ecstasy increased. This thank you. I'm actually a little bit breaking the law, because to make this podcast I have to take down the face diaper. So I'm just hoping they don't see me without the face diaper. So now we're getting a temple.
Boris Johnson is seeing you right now.
I just saw Boris Johnson in the window, and a very very scary figure. Oh, Boris. So now we found a place, and now
the hair.
Yeah, I saw the tuft of hair gliding across the window.
He goes totally against the Hare Krishnas, because Hare Krishnas are shaven-headed.
Can you imagine Boris Johnson with his shika? It would be wild.
It would be really cool.
It would be really, really flowing there in the winds. So,
He visited the Bhaktivedanta.
Oh yeah, he put a garland on Srila Prabhupada, actually.
Yeah.
What a pious man.
Very pious, yeah.
But we should name this podcast Boris Johnson Demigod.
Boris Johnson ki jai.
That will stop it from getting taken down. So, it was a bit of a struggle to look for places to rent, because generally people are not so inclined to accept Hare Krishna monks as tenants, because we don't have a regular income. And oh my goodness, Prabhu just pulled out 2 magazines with Boris Johnson and two very funny memes. I like these memes. We should put these as the I'm going to take a picture of this and use this as the cover for the podcast. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyone can do this. It's not very difficult. You should try. Let's say you have a place. You should try to make that place a Krishna temple. It's not very difficult. You can even make a laundromat a Krishna temple. It's very simple. You just start chanting Hare Krishna there, and you make a little Krishna prasadam, and you invite your friends and your family, and then you have a big Krishna party. Eat nice prasadam, chant and dance, and even in a laundromat like we're in, that can also be a portal to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha Loka. But we got our own place now, and hopefully the struggle is over. I also met a very nice lady, very nice landlord, and little spoke to her. She's also a yoga instructor. So I spoke to her about the yoga that we're practicing, called Bhakti Yoga, and she was very interested. So she's gonna get involved with the bliss now, and hopefully at some point in the future I'll be able to rent an apartment from her, and that'll be an even better landlord and it's even better apartment. That may be in May, so keep your ears peeled to hear any updates on our bliss temple changing location. So it's always a little difficult. Sometimes Krishna will put you through, like I mentioned in the last podcast, sometimes Krishna throws things in our path of Krishna consciousness to a little test our devotion. But if you persevere, and if you try your hardest, stay determined to serve Krishna, you'll be rewarded unlimitedly. Krishna, it is said that if you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 1,000 steps towards you. So it's like that. You do a little service for Krishna, and Krishna feels very much obliged that this little jiva, this little soul, infinitesimal soul, is trying to do some service for the supreme absolute truth, Krishna. Krishna becomes very pleased. So it begins with chanting, like we've mentioned many times. If you just chant, you begin your spiritual path, and you also can start looking for a temple in London. Just kidding, there's no need to do that because we already have a temple here in London and you can come and join it. But if you don't want to come to London, then you can do it wherever you are. Now Prabhu has come back, he's finished viewing Boris Johnson. What do you have to say, Prabhu, about the current world situation? Sorry, is that in your way? Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. What do you have to say, Prabhu?
The world is...
I don't think people can hear you with the mask on.
The world is going very nicely. Everything is okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a very alternative viewpoint of the situation.
Okay.
There is no problem, you know. Actually, we should create some problem because it's this balance in the world.
It's disturbingly peaceful.
Yeah, we should like create some virus or something.
Right.
In a laboratory. It's unbearable. I'm just like Mr. Clinton, you know, he cannot bear to be divine anymore. So I cannot bear how wonderful this world is. It's unnatural.
Only a true masochist could say that this world is wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think it's worth to continue the podcast for another at least 10 minutes until the laundry stops. Actually, you know, I think we probably should end the podcast before the laundry stops because it becomes very difficult to fold the laundry and put it in the bag while you're recording a podcast. My only fear is that there's a possibility we meet another Clinton-like character on the street on the way back, and we miss that because we stopped the podcast.
Clinton is waiting for us to give us the second canto of his divinity.
What is actually our plan, Prabhu? Like when we meet him tomorrow, what is that what is that fun project you have in mind?
I said we're gonna take him on a transcendental adventure.
What is that?
Adventure. We can I don't know, do something.
I liked the way he was dancing down the street and chanting. We should just do that the whole day.
Yeah, that's illegal actually. You can't do that. You can't meet other people.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we can just tell the police it's transcendental.
But the police is not transcendental. They will say, yeah, we have transcendental guns and we're gonna shoot them at you.
I'm spirit soul, baby. It doesn't matter. I'm eternal. I don't think they're gonna care.
Yeah, it's like a war. Can you imagine that was an actual war? How horrible that would be.
That's meant to happen.
This is probably just a training.
I think It's possible, but I'm just speculating. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, because you can just chant Hare Krishna in any circumstance.
Imagine all the people they died.
They do that anyway, Prabhu.
But all the people who died, they don't have to go through this dilemma, thinking whether the COVID situation will be forever or only for now.
Now
They just died.
They have to go through another dilemma in whatever body they have in the next life, thinking about whatever problem they have on whatever planet they're on because of their karma.
Right, that's true.
It doesn't stop. The consciousness doesn't stop. Even if you die, you go on. Your body's already died, you're still here. So it goes on, it doesn't matter. Even if you die now in COVID, why are you scared? Actually, I was just reading an article posted by one of our fans. More like I'm a fan of him, actually, but Sarup Prabhu. He posted a nice article by Bhaktivinoda Thakura. He was a great Vaishnava Acharya, or spiritual teacher. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there was a great plague happening in India in, I guess this was the 19th century. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said that, my dear brothers, why are you worrying about this pandemic? It's completely nonsense, because you're not the body. So this pandemic can't affect you. And especially if you chant Hare Krishna, it will, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, it will protect you from millions of pandemics.
I think we're gonna get fact-checked for this. Fact-checked?
They're gonna do a vibrational scan of the video and hear the word COVID.
No. They do a fact check. You say something, they don't censor, but they put a little link saying that what actually was said, that you are not this body, and that's why COVID cannot harm you, is not a fact. It has been scientifically proven that even if you're not this body, it will still affect you. Yeah.
Okay, well, they got to go against Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. They got to prove that Krishna is wrong. That's a difficult. Actually, we should do that. We should challenge the whole government. We should challenge YouTube to fact check Krishna.
I think they must be so confused by listening to this podcast. They don't know. They're probably gonna fact check everything we say.
They're probably gonna fact check their whole life. What have I been doing with my life? Who am I? What is the purpose of being on this planet? They're gonna fact check their own existence.
Do they fact check fantasy and imagination?
I have no idea, because I don't work for the YouTube fact checking team.
Oh, that's on Facebook, I think.
Okay. I heard it's all bogus anyway. Sorry, you might want.
Also, that is fact checked, not bogus.
You cannot escape the fact check. Even if the fact check is bogus, they fact check you into the correct understanding of fact check.
If you're interested in this topic, then please listen to our podcast called Censorship.
Oh, right, yeah, we actually got censored by fact checkers one time. Who, if they're listening, oh, right, Phil, he's been listening to this podcast and we haven't mentioned his name one time. So sorry, Phil.
His real name is Filth, but we call him Phil, so he's not offended for his real identity.
Yeah, Phil, please don't fact check our podcast. People need to hear about Krishna, whatever little we spoke about Krishna in this podcast, and please don't take us down. So now the laundromat, the spin cycle of material existence is ending. Yes, material existence is just like a cycle going round and round and round in different bodies. Get out. Listen to all of our podcasts. That's quite a nice way to get out. Help you get out. So because it's ending, I think also, as the laundry machine, so the podcast.
Well, why don't we go back?
Because we have to wait for the laundry to be done.
Oh.
Yep. You would like to continue the podcast all the way back. Okay, that's nice. That's a good idea.
So what happened there with the Nima? The beautiful name of Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah, I wish his name was Nimai.
That doesn't matter.
I call him Nimai anyway, just to chant the holy name. Well, I mean, it's kind of like a short story. I kind of wish he was a more religious Muslim in one sense, because then we could have had a nice Allah kata. That would have been nice. But we didn't get an opportunity to speak about the glories of Allah.
What is Allah kata?
Allah kata is where we establish that God is not actually a sectarian idea. God is not a Hindu God or a Christian God or a Muslim God. God is for everyone. Just like the sun, just because it appears on the head of a Muslim man or a Hindu man or a Christian man, which are also just designations anyway, but just because that sun appears on a different head doesn't mean it's now become a Hindu, Muslim, Christian head. Or it's the sun, always. It always remains. So similarly, God or Krishna is the sun, like the sun, and he's for everybody. But in different cultures, he's named differently. So in the Middle East, they refer to Krishna as Allah. So the kata, or the talks about God, can go on regardless of the sectarian boundaries. Sectarian boundaries are destroyed by knowledge of the absolute truth, and we can discuss the wonderful glories of Allah, and also the glories of the soul, and the bogusness of the atheists, which is hated among all genuine lovers of God. That's Allah kata.
Yeah, atheists are also believing that there is no God. They believe that there is no God.
I think you have to speak louder.
Oh, the atheists believe that there is no God.
But they must believe in God somehow, because if they really didn't believe in God, then they wouldn't even acknowledge the question. But the very fact they pursue the fact that God doesn't exist so adamantly, they believe in God a little bit.
Yeah, in one sense we're all atheists. No?
How do you mean?
Because everyone who comes into this material world, he doesn't want to believe in God.
Right.
That's why he's here. He wants to believe that he himself is God.
Mm.
Just like Mr. Clinton.
Clinton, I think he was a sincere soul. I think he thought he was a spirit soul. And I just want to think about Clinton in the best possible way, because when we meet him for the Krishna adventure tomorrow, you don't want to have any bad thoughts in your head about Clinton. You're going to have to spend a whole day with him, Prabhu.
We can call him for the next podcast.
Yeah, I think he would contribute very nicely. Some nice realizations he has. I also saw a crack pipe in his hand. I don't know if you noticed that.
Really?
Yeah, there was some kind of insidious looking pipe in his hand that he threw over the fence when he was talking to us. It clunked on the ground. If you're hearing the podcast, you can rewind the podcast to about 15 minutes or so when Clinton appeared, and you can hear a kind of a ding noise as his metal pipe hit the ground.
Wow. There was a crackhead.
Well, I would say so from the conversation.
Is it like a very serious addiction?
Crack?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like anything.
That's more serious than heroin.
It's more serious than chanting Hare Krishna. If you chant Hare Krishna and you become so addicted to Krishna you can't stop talking about Krishna, it can be even more no, it can't actually be more serious than that. What am I saying?
That is the greatest addiction.
No more greater addiction.
Chanting Hare Krishna is the greatest drug. And it is so addictive because it's free. You can just get it from anywhere, anytime. So that makes it very addictive because it's easily available.
You don't have to pay £100 each time to get your fix, and you don't have to rely on some rusty metal pipe to chant Hare Krishna. You can just chant. Just chant. Check out the podcast we just made. I'm always plugging in the podcast because they have so few views, and I feel so my desire to be loved by everyone in this material world is being very much unfulfilled.
Well, we have a solid fan base of 50 solid viewers every podcast.
Right. Yeah, 50 unique souls. That's actually very nice. Sorry, 50 unique souls. The laundry just stopped, so now I'm going to have to unload the machine and we're going to start folding our laundry.
So my tray is now unloading the load. and we're just about to return to our hotel.
There's a hole there's a hole in the kurta, Prabhu.
Yeah, I have 2 holes.
Wait,
I also have a hole on this one. Yeah.
that's what happens if you're so rigorously clean.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, to Clinton, huh? How unfortunate. How is it possible that the cracking during the lockdown?
How is it possible?
Yeah.
I would imagine that people are more inclined to be cracking during the lockdown.
But you have to buy the crack.
Yeah. You can also make it.
You can make it yourself.
Of course you can make it.
Seems like you yourself are professional. Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate, yeah. Any drug addiction is very unfortunate to see.
We must turn him into a Vaishnava.
Yeah.
We must.
Lord Chaitanya came to deliver the Jagas and the Madais.
Yeah.
Who are the Jagas and Madais?
Well, the 2 of us.
The 2 of us.
So Maitreya is folding the clothes very nicely now. I have washed the clothes. Maitreya is folding the clothes. We have division of duties.
Like the society is divided into different varnas and ashramas for different kinds of duties.
Yeah, we still haven't signed a lease for the new place, so it is a little bit worrying.
I find it difficult to fold Prabhu's dhoti because it's so long that it touches the floor almost every time I try to fold it.
Yeah, you don't have to. Just put it there, whichever way.
Somehow or other, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So, who knows where Krishna's gonna put us next? What kind of place? It was kind of surprising that the previous landlord told us to go. It was all of a sudden, from one day to the other, we had to evacuate our garage temple. So now we're looking for another place, and we hope that in this place we can organize transcendental parties.
Krishna parties.
Yeah. It's difficult to invite people.
That is the difficulty. It's like being in communism, basically, and the KGB are on your case. And if you try to do anything nice, or religious, or spiritual, they're gonna kill you, basically.
Yeah.
So what to do?
What to do. We simply have to pray to Krishna. Krishna is gonna save us. Keep your faith strong. That is the only thing that can save us, Krishna. And chanting Hare Krishna will improve that faith. So we're done here?
Now we're done. And I'm very excited because I think that we're going to meet another Clinton on the street. So now we're walking out of the laundromat into the rain of London. Hare Krishna. I like the dhoti and the tilak. Even though some people think it probably looks very weird, I like it because
I thought it was weird when I saw it the first time.
Sorry, man. No, sorry. I'm sorry. No, I apologize the most. We really, me and that guy who just almost crashed into me, we really just connected on like a soul platform. Like we just looked at each other so deeply in the eyes.
Describe what happened.
Well, I was trying to cross the road. That probably was really weird for the people listening to the podcast because everything just stopped for a second and there was something of like a clamor of noise. I was trying to cross the road, and then a man on a bike didn't stop at the red light and he almost crashed into me. And as he stopped his bike and he realized what was happening, he looked up into my eyes and like he was about to die. And he looked and just stared into my eyes, and I think we saw each other's souls. We looked through the eyes into the soul. And then I said, Hare Krishna, you go. You go. And he said, I'm sorry. And I said, no, I'm sorry. And then, so that was that. It's kind of interesting, like when you bring out the phone to do a podcast, so many interesting things happen on the street that don't usually happen.
It's a magical night.
Clintons are everywhere.
Things are happening.
I pray, actually, every morning before I chant Hare Krishna, please, Krishna, send me a Clinton on the street so I can experience transcendental ecstasy talking to the Clinton.
Yes.
Yes. The material world is full of characters.
Yeah. So what is happening online with the bliss? Maybe you can explain.
The internet is getting taken over by the bliss. It's happening now. Woo! Have you ever heard of have you ever heard of a thing called the internet?
It's really cool.
It's really cool.
Well, you can type and you can like find different things.
So if you heard of the thing called the internet, the bliss is taking over that internet, the whole thing. Yep. 90% of the whole internet is going to be bliss conscious very soon. We have live streams, and these live streams are taking off. There are people listening every single day to Purja Prabhu give classes on the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a beautiful ancient Sanskrit text, scripture, which teaches you about how to realize your relationship with God, Krishna, prasadam in the belly, coming up through the apana, through the air that goes upwards. So now there are many nice devotees coming on that live stream, and also non-devotees becoming devotees, and they are spreading it like a wildfire. They're sharing it like anything, and they're loving it. They were consistently listening. So it was very exciting times, and there's a whole new squad of brahmacharis, or young boys who want to leave everything and take up to Krishna consciousness. So that's always ecstatic that people are taking an interest in the Krishna consciousness movement. Because
we find it ecstatic when young people want to destroy their material lives.
If you have a good thing going and you are happy with your family, and you're getting prospects in your job, and you just got your degree in school, and your girlfriend's really, and you're having a wonderful relationship, if you happen to come across the Bliss live stream, prepare to give it all up.
Or please swipe very fast.
Just like Rupa Goswami says, don't go if you're attached to the world of love and mundane love and friendship. Don't go to see that blue boy on the banks of the Yamuna, Krishna, because you will give all that up. Similarly, if you come in contact with all the wonderful bliss content that we're doing online in the form of ebooks and live streams and these podcasts, then you'll give up all that nonsense and you'll simply be addicted to staying in touch with us. So I don't know, maybe is that what you wanted me to touch on, or is there more?
Yeah.
solid. Thank you. Okay, so it doesn't end there though,
We
because
also have Zoom sessions.
I knew it was in the back of my mind, and it was just coming to the surface as you said that.
Here?
No, not here. Yeah, we have Zoom sessions. That's really cool. Aliash Prabhu is one of our dear devotees. He allowed us to use his Zoom account. Zoom is this platform which allows you to connect to hundreds of people on a video chat at one time. So it's kind of very cool. We can have like a online temple there, and you can ask your questions and talk with us. So please come and interact with all the bliss devotees. We discuss Prabhupada's books there. Right now we're discussing Beyond Birth and Death, and it's free. That's the main thing I think that's amazing about what we do. Is that it's pretty much free. Like, if you want to support us, go ahead. We're not going to be offended if you support us. And if you'd like to support us in a kind of interesting way, you can support us by buying our ebooks that are compiled by Paraji Prabhu. They're very nice philosophical treatises, and you can just give us a little something, £5, and then you get a nice ebook. And if you feel more generous, you can also donate to us. But aside from that, all of this content, literally hours, so much content. If you listen to it all, I don't know, you wouldn't have material ears anymore. It would be worn out.
Everything on the YouTube free.
Prabhu, we don't mention that here. No, this is a false propaganda. Everything else is paid. Everything, you sell your soul to everything else, not to us. So you can listen now, just like you're listening to this podcast. Unfortunately, the other podcasts don't have a Clinton in them. They're severely lacking Clintons.
That was a new guest after quite a while.
We can actually put that in the thumbnail of this video. Special guest Clinton. So personally, I'm excited now to go and listen to my own podcast just for Clinton. And one day he's going to be a great devotee, and he's going to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world and bring about that wonderful golden age.
You said Hare Krishna.
He said Hare Krishna many times.
Many times, yeah. And he showed appreciation. He said, I like you, I like.
Yes.
So that is a very fortunate soul.
Yeah, and he threw away the crack pipe.
And that is the effect.
Yeah, it's immediate. Like but like the devotees, if you chant Hare Krishna, you can give up the 4 cornerstones of material existence: illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. So this guy, we saw the practical effects. He chanted Hare Krishna one time, immediately he threw away his crack pipe just to see the potency.
Yeah.
The holy name.
Very nice.
So Boris, I don't know if you're still listening to the podcast. I know it's been a little while, but Boris Johnson, if you're still listening, you got to make this Hare Krishna movement more mainstream, man. Instead of doing COVID lockdowns, why don't you do a Hare Krishna lockdown where everyone has to stay home?
I want to do a slaughterhouse lockdown. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Don't go to the slaughterhouse of the soul. Read Srila Prabhupada's books.
And we're arriving to the hotel.
We've now arrived. We're entering the hotel. The safe haven from Clinton's. They can't enter. I like how when you do a recording through different environments, the sound is changing. It's like a different atmosphere.
The sound, the topics,
Right.
the mood,
Everything.
the focus.
The consciousness.
Yeah, I got affected by the atmosphere of Kali Yuga. I become like a dull-headed.
Clinton.
Huh?
Clinton.
No, me.
No, Clinton Association.
Right. So now we're coming back to the temple.
Sadhu Sange.
My
Sadhu Sange.
consciousness is being revived
Ah.
again. So again, back home, back to guided. And this is 70 minutes of podcast.
Wow. Cool.
Unbelievable.
This is one of our longest podcasts, and we were simply in a laundromat.
Yeah.
Cool. So now we're taking the shoes off. Because you can't wear shoes in a temple. The temple is the place of the Lord. Don't wear your cow dung, dog dung shoes in the temple. Please, if you come to the temple, always remember to take your shoes off. And don't knock down the decorations on the wall outside the temple.
That's the fire extinguisher.
Oh, the samsara dava natalida loka.
That is our fire extinguisher.
Put out the fire of material existence with the spiritual master Haribol. Okay, so now we're entering into the temple, the transcendental land of Vrindavan. Jai. I really need some water. All that Clinton talking really got me parched. Okay, thank you for listening to the Bliss Podcast. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.